Hi everyone, this is I Am Spoon with a new game of Brass today, played live on the tabletop simulator. I made a video recently about high-level crates, how hard it is to play high-level crates, how in my view they're still probably slightly underpowered. And I don't think I've ever won a high-level crate game against good opponents. But in this game, I have decent opponents, and I decided to give it another try. The merchant setup is also quite good, with 3 points in Nottingham and also Warrington accepting, uh, and also Oxford, both of them accepting the crates. So I felt like, oh, this is a good setup. Let me give it another try, and I came up with a slightly improved build, a slightly improved approach to it compared to what I did in previous video. And yeah, you will see. Let's have a look at this game. It starts with purple taking a loan. From my side, I wasn't 100% sure yet what to do. I have a lot of cards for the north, right? For the blue and Burton-on-Trent, so the blue area and the Burton-on-Trent. Um, but I wasn't 100% decided yet what I would do. Uh, from my side, if I look at my cards, I have a pottery card that's not interesting if I'm not going to go pottery. I also have two coal cards. One of them should be sufficient, and no real good reason to keep two of them. Um, so I end up playing away my coal card and developing. Now, if you play the high level crates, uh, you will want to develop the crates, of course. But I just start also to develop the two level 1 beers here. So this will be a 4 develop build, so 8 industries will be developed away. The 2 beers, as I just did now, and then 5 more crates, and then one extra one, and I'll use it to develop away the coal. So this is very heavy in develops. I think 4 develops is pretty much a maximum, but it is playable. It's also sometimes played with cotton like this, where you develop away in pretty much same fashion, your cotton and beer. So I don't think this is so exceptional, but you're of course a bit dependent on the iron price with that many develops. Um, so it continues here. We have orange also taking a loan. We have teal here, who developed at the price of 6 in total, developed away his beer. And looking at the merchant setup, I think it's maybe acceptable for someone to go cotton. It's definitely not the best, but maybe playable. The 4 victory points in Shrewsbury is of course always interesting, but you need to build a lot of canals yourself in this setup to kind of get to the merchant beer for the cotton. So in that sense, it's for me not the best cotton setup, but maybe still playable. Um, we have purple here, and purple offsetting his loan with an iron mine. So purple offset his loan with an iron mine. I think pretty standard. Um, I think he just had the Stoke-on-Trent card, so that's where he built his iron mine. In general, if you plan to build iron, it's better to go to Birmingham because there's a lot of adjacent iron mines as well where you can access. While if you go to Stoke-on-Trent, you're a bit locked there. But in this situation, I guess he just didn't have the card. We see Orange here playing his iron mine in Birmingham. From my side, of course, I'm very happy. I get here basically free iron to develop, and I'm doing a strategy that's very heavy on develops. So I'm kind of happy about that. As I said before, you're a little bit depending on the iron price if you go like 4 develops, and if you're not building any iron yourself, you end up, yeah, depending a bit on the others. But I could theoretically also build an iron mine in Dudley and then maybe later overbuild it. But yeah, I'm immediately going for my strategy, developing away 4 crates here. Yeah, till that point I wasn't actually 100% sold on it yet, but I wanted to give it another try. And yeah, I drew actually a new Dudley card, so I could technically build a level 1 iron in Dudley and then later overbuild it with a level 2. That's one way of playing it. Another way of playing it is to build a coal mine to offset some of the loans, typically the level 2 coal mine, because with the level 2 coal mine you can basically offset 2 loans. It's point-wise less strong than iron, but it's still very efficient income-wise, and then in the rail area, coal can be quite useful. And as you can see, I developed here a lot here for quite good prices. Now. So once for free, then once for 2 coins only. So I'm happy about that. No one is going for cotton, or no one is yet going for cotton. I think Teal is still hesitating what to do. Taking a loan and developing. Okay. Seems to be very standard brick play. Yeah, this is a very standard brick where you you try to build beer, some iron, and flip it with low-level crates. Also gaining access to coal for the second age. So from my side, I had very cheap develops till now. I had one develop at 2, one at 0, and one at 1. Yeah, I think normally you would expect slightly higher prices, but that's how it turned out. I'm gonna develop one more time here and to do my final development, and then taking a loan. So this leads to kind of the final development that I did here. 5 crates are developed away, 2 beers are developed away, and then 1 coal is developed away. I think that's kind of my new approach to it. In the previous time, I developed an additional level 5 crate away, and I think 1 less coal. But kind of rethinking about it, I think this is a slightly better approach. It mirrors more what people would do when they play cotton with beer combined. With cotton and beer combined, you would also develop away 5 cottons, level 1 coal, and then the 2 beers. So this is more in line with that approach. Now the level 5 crates, they do require 2 beers each, and that can make it quite tricky, but let's see how it plays out. In the meantime, purple building a beer in Derby. Seems to be going also probably for standard approach, although it's not yet certain, right? Purple could still go any direction. Developing away your level 1 beer is pretty much strategy 90% of all builds, so it still leaves you very flexible. Red here takes another loan and builds a canal, and I guess next turn we'll build an iron mine in Coventry. Now iron gives a lot of points and it can be kind of quite strong. On the other hand side, if you're often the one building the canal to get to the iron, because no one's going to build it for you normally. Yeah, this causes some actions to be wasted on canals, and this causes you to build canals that can be useful for others. Of course, if they make use of your canal, you're going to get extra link points, but yeah, still, it's still possible that with your canals, you're kind of helping the others. That's what I personally feel and like don't really like. So here, Birmingham and Coventry, anyone with the Birmingham card, which I guess is okay, but anyone with the Coventry card can suddenly start. Yeah. From my side here, I don't offset my loan. I was thinking of setting my loan with a coal mine in Burton-on-Trent. I had the card for it, so just canal and then build in Burton-on-Trent. But I felt I can do this next turn, no worries, and I rather fight for some of the beer slots because there's a limited amount of them. I actually I had the stone card, but I was afraid someone else would take away my beer, and I really need a lot of beer in this build. I need 4 beers if I'm gonna build my 2 level 5s, and yeah, so these beer slots tend to go away pretty quickly, so that's why I was thinking that. Teal here does something maybe slightly odd, but maybe just the cards he had. He builds a level 1 pottery here in Belper. I say odd compared to a level 2 crate, and I'll show statistics on the screen. A level 1 pottery is actually very similar to a level 2 crate in strength. It gives the same amount of points, a bit more income, but costs a bit more. But it doesn't stay on the board, so you have a bit reduced presence. And also, it's just very strong to build the level 1 pottery in rail. So in general, you don't really want to build it. You rather keep it for rail. But in this scenario, Teal has opted for building it directly. I guess maybe because he thinks of getting the 3 victory points here. And then purple kind of screws me over by building a coal mine. And this means if I build my coal mine in Burton-on-Trent, how I kind of originally planned it, it won't immediately flip over. And with coal in canal, it can get quite tricky because, quite frankly, just sometimes it doesn't flip at all. I mean, unlike iron, it doesn't really transport, and so it can get stuck there for a long time. So if teal overbuilds his iron mine, I'm good. Then my coal will be consumed. That was my hope. But in the meantime, I haven't flipped, and so I'm at -6 income, which I think is like the pain area. At least for me, that's how I experience it. You don't want to be at -6 income for long. And when you're negative income, every income you gain is a effective positive income. It's with steps of 1, unlike the higher income levels where it's the steps of 2 or steps of 3. So I feel like it's very efficient to increase your income at this stage. Maybe I was a bit too greedy to get the stone beer, and I should have immediately built my coal mine. Um, on the other hand side, I mean, I was able to secure the stone beer, which otherwise maybe I wouldn't have. So it's a bit of a trade-off. Yeah, we see here orange getting lots of iron out at fairly good prices actually for his level 2 and his level 3, and maybe later the option to overbuild his level 1 in Birmingham with a level 4, or build level 4 in Redditch or Valsall. But of course, building a lot of networks for the others, and not actually at the moment not really getting many link points as well, as kind of no one is going there. But I assume when more people will go there, it will become more valuable. Then we have purple here, building a level 1 pottery in Coventry. I still feel it's a bit weak. I feel like the level 2 crate is probably a bit stronger, unless really you're going to get the +3 victory points from the merchant beer. So I think in purple shoes, I'm pretty sure I would have built the level 2 crate instead. But maybe he's planning to build level 3 or level 5, I don't know. In rail, like build high-level potteries or something, and then he wants to free up already in canal. But to me, this doesn't look like a good pottery build, and I'll make a video on that soon, by the way. So in my view, like a small mistake by purple. For teal, I think it's not a mistake; it's more of a personal choice, because getting this 3 victory point merchant beer makes it quite interesting to build level 1 pottery in canal. And I'm trying to talk into teal to build an iron mine. The price is good; it would immediately flip, and my coal would flip as well. I'm thinking it's like a win-win. Unfortunately, no, he just secures a beer spot first. So I lose 6 to income, which is of course not very amusing, but I fixed the problem now by building my first crate. So my idea is build 2 level 5 crates. Ideally, I get some of the connection points of it as well, because it gives a lot of connection points. And build 2 beers, and I'm now building my second beer. And then I'll flip everything using the 2 merchant beers plus the 2 of my own beer. I'm of course at risk of getting undercut by other players, but I feel like if they would do that, they would hurt themselves probably even more than they hurt me. So it's just like a lose-lose. No good player should do that. Yeah. So we see here Teal finally building his level 2 iron, as I had predicted he would do, but he kind of just delayed it. And then both of them basically profiting here from the Coventry link. And it's a bit painful for Red, because he has 3 links around Birmingham, but no one built in it. So for Red, it would have been much better if people built boxes in Birmingham. I actually didn't have the cards to do it. I wouldn't have been completely against it, because I think it's important to have access in Birmingham in rail. And I will end up with no access in the south at all, actually, just based on my cards. All my cards were basically in the north, except I think Dudley. Yeah. And Red is doing some spending here. And what's important here is that if you look at the spendings, because I built a high-level building and the others are not going for these high-level buildings, I spend the most, which means I will be last in turn order in the 7th round. And this is actually quite important. If you're last in turn order in the 7th round, you have a lot of options available for you. You will see when it comes. So for now, there were some unusual things in this game. I think in particular, purple and teal going for the level 1 pottery instead of the level 2 crates. It's more usual, but I don't think it's a major difference. And maybe in this scenario, even a good case, at least for teal, because he will get the merchant beer. And yeah, so purple is building now his level 2 crates. I'm checking the high-level crates. You know, I sometimes also forget exactly how much they cost, how much points they give, because I'm so not used to play them. The advantage of the level 6 crate is that it doesn't cost any coal or iron. So if the price of coal and iron is high, and it's often the case in rail, it's still quite cheap. And that's maybe another reason to not build it in canal, like it is in the previous video, but to build it in rail. Yeah. So we have Red building beer. Now, I don't really like it. I feel like maybe he should have tried to get his level 4 out instead. His level 4 iron. Maybe 1 beer and then use it to double rail at the start of rail. But with 2 beers, Um, yeah, maybe he was thinking I would use his beers or so, and he's like, let's do a win-win. He supplies me beer and I use it. Um, but if you leave so much beer, yeah, at the start of rail, if there's unflipped beer, you need to make sure you're the one consuming your own beer and not someone else. And by leaving beer in Burton-on-Trent, you're risking that someone else will use your beer. From my side, I take another loan and build in Dudley. Oh yeah, so now I'm lost in turn order. So I have basically, I can do what I want. I can just like spend a little or just take loans. And this guarantees I go first at the start of rail. And that's exactly what I do. So at the start of rail, I build in Stoke-on-Trent and then sell. And because I'm first here, I have enough beer for sure. I could use even Red's beer. I was even thinking of using Red's beer, but yeah, no, it wasn't worth it. Um, and I end up flipping everything. Now, please note how I'm actually giving quite some points to teal and purple from the link points. Compared to a more usual building, I'm giving both of them basically 2 points. So that's kind of a bit of a weakness of the level 5 crates, right? The equivalent would be 2 level 3 cottons. They would both give 9 points and not give these extra link points to the others. The two level 5 crates, they're kind of the equivalent. They give 1 less point, give more link points, which I am always complaining a bit about because I feel it's hard to make use of it, and often you end up helping the opponents, and this game is just another example of that. But the level 5 grade is also a little bit cheaper, but gives a little bit less income. It's just a slightly weaker version of the level 3 cotton, to be honest. Yeah. But of course, with good merchant setup, it can work nicely. I mean, you see in this game, I built only 1 canal, because I was able to profit from other people's link, and that's quite good, actually. We see here everything is flipping. Teal is basically flipping 3 industries, 2 level 2 crates and 1 level 1 pottery, getting the +3 from the merchant beer. So that's actually, I think, quite solid, but he only got 1 level 2 beer out. That's kind of the drawback of it. Still, only 2 links built, and they're good value links. So for sure, Teal is doing fine. And then Purple is selling everything. And I think Purple is doing okay, but just a little bit weaker than Teal. And Red leaves some unflipped beer, and this will turn out to be a major mistake. Yeah, so we see here the canal scoring. I have 69 points. You have to double count my industry because they're all level 2 or higher. Red is at 61 points, so actually behind. For Purple and Teal, you also need to subtract 10 points. So they're are in the high 60s. So kind of everyone is in the high 60s except Red is maybe a little bit behind. Actually, if once his beer flips, he's not too much behind. But I have very good income. I have 10 income. Purple has 8, which is also solid. Yeah, but Teal is first player and immediately profits from the free beer that's on the board. So the beer that Red left in Burton-on-Trent, and gets extremely high value links. These are links that are worth up to 9 points. And you see again the weakness of crates where the extra link points of the level 5 crates are just very hard to capitalize on. And it's not only that it's hard for you to make to kind of benefit from them, it's just often you're helping your opponents. Sorry if I sound a little bit like frustrated, but it's just the reality of playing crates is that, yeah, in theory it's so flexible, you can do cool stuff, etc. And in practice, it's just like, yeah, it's not an advantage. Yeah, the extra link points of the level 5 crates is not an advantage, and the minus link points is also not always easy to make use of. So we see here Teal and Purple getting good links, and yeah, these are good links, although I think with Purple I would have connected between Stone and Utoxeter instead. With my second link, I'm not really sure why he did that. I feel this would have been stronger, especially if you have like a beer card coming up. For Red, it's a bit harder. He doesn't have access in Birmingham because he didn't overbuild it with a level 4, as I think he probably should have done instead, or he should have built in Redditch or something. So it doesn't have too many high value links, but there's still some decent links. So the one, for example, Burton-on-Trent to Stone, yeah, that's a decent one. And then, for example, from Stone to Utoxeter. But I think he's out of money and he takes a loan. I'm not entirely sure how much money he has. I feel like he should have built a second rail. Oh, I think he could have built a second rail. In my eyes, this is a mistake. Red should have built a second rail. The rails in the first 1-2 turns of the rail era are so strong, give so many points. On top of that, coal is at a cheap price. He should have taken that, so that's for him and not for someone else. From my side, I have actually the Utoxeter card, so I can build the beer, and I can then double rail of it, or maybe even do some quad rail shenanigans. But because Red spent so little money, I actually cannot like loan build a beer and then quad rail. This would be like the typical combination that people do. Unfortunately, it's not possible. And I think here I make another small mistake. I'm linking from Burton-on-Trent to Canuck. Reason is because I have the coal card for Canuck, because I'm thinking of going to the farm brewery. I thought this would be a useful link, but I should really have linked up north between Derby and Belper, It's a useful link, and it's so many more points. It's so much more points. It's 6 points immediately now, but it's probably going to be worth 7, if not 8 points. So I feel like this small mistake here from my side. Red then gets to double rail. I'm quite happy because I know red is a bit behind, so I rather kind of give him the double link. I don't want to give beer to players that are doing really well. You want to give beers to the players that are a bit behind. Yeah, we're discussing a bit the rails and why probably my rail was a mistake. And I agree. I think I should not have built that rail there. So it's for sure not a flawless game from my side here. You know, between the coal mine that didn't flip in the canal era for a whole turn, where I had to suffer -6 income. Between here, maybe 1 or 2 rails that are suboptimal. I didn't play it perfectly. Yeah, we're doing some accounting here with red. I think here in red shoes, it's a bit hard because the canal era was just a tad bit too weak. Not usually, not like 20 points behind, but maybe like 5 points behind. Securing the farm brewery is maybe an idea. For me, if I secure a farm brewery, there's 2 approaches. One is I use it early on with a beer cart. Weirdly enough, he just did throw away a beer cart. But one is to use a beer cart and then double rail of it. Ideally fairly early in rail, let's say turn 3-4, when there's still good good links available. The other option is to build some high-level industries and then flip it with your own beer. In this case, he doesn't really have 2 high industries, but he could build a level 2 crate and a level 1 pottery. And actually, in this scenario, building a level 2 crate and a level 1 pottery, and then selling it to Nottingham to get the bonus points from the merchant is quite strong. 6 points is nothing to scoff at. Maybe not on turn 1-2 of rail, but once you get to like turn 4-5, I would definitely attempt here in red's shoes to do that. So iron price is high. Teal profits from it and builds iron mine and a good link. I think that's solid. From my side, I'm pretty broke. I don't remember what I do. I think I build a coal mine. I have good income. I'm actually at 12 income, so that's pretty solid. But at the moment, I just don't have enough money. But with a coal mine, a coal mine is basically like gives you half a loan plus a bit of points plus a bit of income. So if you build it fairly early on in rail, yeah, it feels like it's quite strong. Here I get maybe a bit lucky. I don't know, but maybe drop in the comments if you think I got lucky. I feel like I had good cards this game. In this game, so in rail, I got the Utoxeter card and was able to play it, and then the Nuneaton card I just got and I play it. Purple is not able to quad rail. He can only do a single rail and then a double rail. So at least one of the beers is guaranteed to come back to me. Although I don't have a lot of money at the moment, I'm not sure I will be able to double rail of it. But yeah, getting these beers out, even though sometimes purple is, purple will now be able to double rail of my beer, and red was able to double rail. Beer is so strong, it's cheap, gives good points, gives good income. And I was able to double rail of my beer once, and now I'll be able to double rail again once of my beer. So it feels like I got maybe a little bit lucky with the cards, but yeah. What's also strange in this game is that Birmingham is fairly empty, and so not so valuable. In general, the links around Birmingham are solid, maybe not as good as around Tuxeter, but often still quite good. And it's also just good to have access to Birmingham so you can spread out later. You're not locked up. And this can happen, and so for me, I'm often trying to get at least a link to Birmingham or one building there, just that I'm not fully locked out. So to double rail, I need to do some kind of trick here. I need to first build my coal mine and then double rail of it. This means I will leave some free coal for the next player, which is unfortunate because I think Teal is doing quite well, actually. But otherwise, I would not be able to double rail for lack of money. Or I would have to take a loan, actually. I could have also loaned and double railed. The reason is, I was thinking Wolverhampton is useful. It has a crate slot, so I will be able to build one of my crates there. Yeah, that was kind of what was interesting me. But kind of rethinking about it, I'm actually not so convinced. The link values around Wolverhampton are not that great. Maybe I could have just loaned and double railed, to be honest, and done some more useful rails. I mean, in the north there's still some good rail between Stoke-on-Trent and Leek. Gives me access to a new location. Between Nuneaton and Coventry is also a good link, between Dudley and Birmingham. So actually these 2 links I just built, they're not that strong. But yeah, and I gave free call to others. It kind of always feels bad, to be honest. So yeah, not sure it was really the best. At the moment I have not done a single loan yet in rail. My income is quite good. Still, if if it forces you to make suboptimal decisions, and maybe what I just did was slightly suboptimal, uh, throw in a loan, and then you're good to go for normally 1 or 2 turns, and then you can build some coal mines if need be. So, yeah, at the stage every income step I gain is not so useful anymore. It doesn't. I mean, I need a lot of income just to go up one in effective income, and yeah, I feel like maybe a loan should have been better. Um, so red plays here coal mine, and it's actually his first coal mine here in Rail, and it's good he builds it because I think he's a bit low on income. Should probably have tried to build one earlier. And same with Teal actually. Teal has not built a single coal mine. No, Teal has not built a single coal mine, but he got 2 cheap coal from my side. Yeah, ideally you try to build at least 1 coal mine, turn 3, turn 4. That's just my feeling. Afterwards they become not so useful anymore. They don't give that many points. And we have red hesitating here. And in my view, building the beer now is a mistake. There are not that many good links, so why would you? Yeah, why would you do that? Although there's still maybe 1 or 2 decent links. Um, I would rather keep the beer here now for the very end of the game. So you build rails now, then at one point you build your level 1 pottery or level 2 crate. At the very end you build the beer and sell. Um, that's I think the proper way to play it. Um, here is building his level 4. There are actually not many iron slots left, so it might even be one of the... Yeah, it's not the last one because there's Valsal, but other than that, it's kind of the last one. Oh no, there's also Redditch. Okay, yeah. But why not? Why not build level 4? It's very strong. Um, then it's up to Teal. I felt Teal was doing quite well, got good links around Derby. Maybe the issue is he didn't get any call out at this stage, and this kind of means his economy is a bit weak. But still, he's doing quite well. He had a good amount of points in Canal, and yeah, wasn't able to get any beer out, but that's a bit how it sometimes plays. Um, in early rail, it's sometimes a bit luck, to be honest. Or you try to secure a farm brewery, but securing the farm brewery now on the bottom left around Worcester, the link value is not going to be good there because no one is going cotton, so it feels a bit weak to just go there to secure the farm brewery. Um, no, I'm not saying it couldn't be done, but yeah, if you're securing the farm brewery, but you need to build 2 very suboptimal links for it, that's not really worth it. I think especially for Teal, he only has access to his level 2 beer, so it's not like he's gonna get his level 4 beer out or so. So there's yeah, I think he's probably playing it correctly here. Basically building 2 links. I still feel he should probably have built a coal at one point here. I'm not sure, maybe he didn't have the cards, or maybe he was still waiting a bit, but turn 3-4 is generally the good moment to build a coal mine. From my side, I already built 2 coal mines, so my economy is actually really good. And maybe I should have even built 1 less, to be honest. I'm not 100% convinced by what I did. At this stage, I'm not yet building the high-level industries. You want to really wait till the second part of Rail. You want to first contest the links, build links, so you spread around, that you get to the good value links that are fairly cheap to get. And then once you've done that and that there's no really good links left anymore, that's the moment where you strike and start building your high-level industries. And the other players at this stage, you know, if they're just going to build 3-4 links, 3-4 value points links, you're getting quite ahead by building the high-level industries. But early in Rail, you want to contest the links. So purple secures a farm brewery. Yeah, that's probably the better way to do it. I was thinking I build from Birmingham to Worcester and then from Worcester to Kidderminster, and I felt, that's 2 suboptimal links. But if you build from Kidderminster, it's only 1 link. So it's maybe better how purple is doing it. So probably the right time to do this as well. And from my side, I have some okay cards. Not perfect, but I have the Valsal card, and I see my chance here. I want to build the crate that doesn't give any link points. I want to build it in the middle of the opponent's network. At the moment, it looks like it will be Valsal. I could also do Birmingham, but then again, if it's to fill a spot that anyway would not be filled, it doesn't really change anything. Yeah, I built 1 more link here. As I said, the link in North is actually quite strong. It's going to be worth 5, if not 6 points. I don't want to let it go to others. And yeah. And at this stage, purple does something I think a bit strange, probably a mistake. So building the level 2 crate is okay, especially if you get the beer from the merchant for it. Especially if you're able to combine with another industry that you're selling. You rarely want to sell 1 industry. Maybe just a level 1 pottery to get the merchant beer, but otherwise you don't really want to sell just 1 industry. It's not efficient. Like you won't be able to reach 5 points per turn by doing that. Um, but here, purple develops further and basically plans to build his level 3 pottery, I believe. But he needs to be careful with the beer because yeah, there's a lot of beer around and he has a farm brewery. But yeah, he will need to pay attention to that. Um, Teal took a loan here and then built a coal mine, and that's quite good. But I do feel he should have done it like a turn earlier, because at this stage a coal mine is worth 2 points. Oh, if you include the link here, it's maybe 3 points. Okay, but this is not very good. And at the end of the game, income and cash are not really worth anything. Yeah, they're tiebreakers, but this rarely happens. Um, so if I put myself in Teal's shoes, I wouldn't build any more coal or very little, maybe one extra one. Um, Red, in the meantime, has actually quite a lot of cash, but not really sure what he really wants to do. Um, oh, he takes a loan and scouts. Okay, he really wanted to be first in turn order in next turn, and I'm not really sure why. Yeah, I'm pinging it here. Why are you throwing away your beer card? You need your beer card. But I think he said something like, I have 4 beer cards or something. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he had multiple beer cards, so it didn't matter to him. This is a friendly game, so we kind of give each other advice and ask questions like that. Um, so yeah, orange ends up scouting, but I'm not really sure why he's doing that. I mean, he had the beer card. What else do you want to scout for? I'm a bit confused. I think it's because he really wanted to be first in the next stage or something. But then in the next stage he just like builds a beer and does a single double rail, and this is just a plain mistake. I think at this stage orange was maybe only 5 points behind, but by doing this weird thing here, he's falling more like 10, 15 points behind. Um, Scout was kind of unnecessary, or I just don't understand it. Oh yeah, he has another beer card. So he had a lot of beer cards, and this makes me wonder why he scouted. I was thinking maybe if you scout for level 1 pottery, but he already had built his level 1 pottery, so no, I'm a bit kind of puzzled. Um, so now Red is double railing off his own beer, but there's actually not that many good connections left. Wolverhampton to Walsall is going to be worth 4, maybe 5 points. Um, there's maybe some connections around Birmingham that will be worth 4 or 5 points, but really not that many. Um, yeah, we see Red hesitate here to find good links, but it's just not so easy. And that's what I say. You either double rail early in rail, so you use your farm brewery to double rail on, let's say, turn 3. Um, or you use your farm brewery very late in rail to sell some high-level industries, like Purple is going to do probably here. So I feel like this is not the way to use a farm brewery. Yeah. So and Teal will be able to double rail of your beer as well. So it's a player that's already doing well gets basically an extra double rail. Um, okay, there's not too many good links to be fair, but still. A lot of discussion ongoing on what is the best rail in this situation. But there isn't really too many good rails. Yeah. In my view, we should have gone from Burton on Trent instead of from Birmingham. I think that's one more point plus a bit more certitude here. So this link could have probably been slightly better, but good. It's Purple's turn now. Purple has a good amount of cash and also good income, so he's not really cash constrained, and uses it to build the pottery. Now the level 3 pottery and the level 5 pottery, they're quite expensive in coal. They're like 2 coals, and yeah. So I think Purple's strategy here is quite clear: is to build a farm brewery afterwards and then sell his 2 industries. That should be fine, but he needs to be a bit careful because I, of course, will try to use some of the beer from the merchants for the crates. Um, at the moment, yeah, I built this very nice one in the middle of Valsal. So for once, I finally succeeded in building this level 7 crate in the middle of the opponent. So the crate that doesn't give any link points. But at the moment, I need 1 beer to sell, just for my level 6. My level 7 doesn't require any beer. If I build a level 8, I will require 2 beers to sell, so ideally the 2 of the merchant beer. I could also think of scouting, for example, building a level 1 pottery in Stafford and then overbuilding one of my own beers. If I had more time and if it was like a serious game, I would like really mat it out. But I think I'm just like short a little bit of money Like if I take a loan and then scout and then build a pottery and then I think it might just barely not work um, to do that approach. And then I would have been able to sell like 3 or 4 industries if I had done that. Instead, I end up building a coal mine. Not really sure it's a good idea because it's only worth 4 points, and it gives links point to the other people. So actually, it nets me compared to them maybe only 3 points, maybe even only 2 compared to teal, depending on where the links go in the future. Um, but it gives me some cash, and I decided to keep it fairly simple here. I built the level 8 and then sell everything. So I need only 2 beer to sell my 3 industries and get the thing. Normally you want to do that on the last turn, but here, I could have maybe scouted and then overbuilt one of my own beers. But here with the plus 3 points from the merchants, I felt like, oh, let's keep it simple, let's just sell. Um, I do think, however, it was maybe a mistake because what will I do in the last turn? And that's kind of generally the weakness of some strategies where the last turn you have nothing to do anymore. You can maybe get some low value links like 2-3 points. Sometimes you even have to pass, and that feels very painful. In this scenario, I thought, oh, there's still some links on the map. I'll still be able to get my 2 links out. But actually, it gets very close. There's really not that many links left. And yeah. So we see here Red building his level 2 crate and then selling everything, including his level 1 pottery. And yeah, that's actually not too bad. He gets 3 points from Nottingham. And there's actually no beer left for Purple. Purple was, I think, maybe a bit too complacent there. But there's he needs 3 beers to sell, and he actually only has 2 available from the farm brewery. We see here also Teal is building some links, only 4 points each, so fairly weak. And we also see that Teal actually has very little money. And I still think Teal should probably have gotten one more coal mine out at one point. But maybe he just didn't have the cards. I mean, it can happen. Yeah. So for Purple, I don't know. I think he should have cut out the level 2. He should probably have cut out the level 2 crate, to be honest. I feel like level 2 crate, especially that other people would have. I mean, other people are competing on the beer from the crate. Yeah. Unless you plan to sell early, then don't go crates basically. And then still building some coal, but this is not so important at this stage. So we're close to the end of the game, and I'll be lost because I spent 24 coins. So basically, everyone before me has a chance to build rails, and it's actually not guaranteed I'll get in any rails. I think there I maybe underestimated a bit the danger of me having to pass in the last turn. Probably on turn 5 or 6 of rail, I should have scouted at one point, so that I could overbuild one of my own beers, maybe get the level 1 pottery out. That would have probably been the stronger move. But yeah, I think in the end it didn't end up mattering too much. So Red is still getting some of the links. We're just playing the final moves here. And we see Red using his 2 wild cards that he scalded for to build 2 links at the end of the game. It's a bit sad, to be honest. And I'm still not really sure what he was trying to achieve. I think he did it because he wanted to go first in the next round or so, and then he didn't want to spend money. But I still think it didn't make sense. And that's where he went from being 5-ish points behind to being like 10, 15 points behind. Teal has to pass as a last action because not enough money. I think this probably saves me because I was afraid I would literally not be able to do any action, or maybe get like 1 rail or something. But I think in the end I can still play two actions to get 2 rails out. Yeah, so the level 2 crater from Purple doesn't flip. It's for sure a mistake. So I think small mistakes from Red and Purple, which kind of added up to being like 10, 15 points deficit. I think Teal played quite well. Got maybe a bit lucky with the double rails in early rail, but yeah. Still well played to go first, I guess. And from my side, building 2 more rails, 3 points each. Very weak, of course, but yeah, that's just the end of the game. Not much else I can do. As a reminder, we want to get 5 points per action to be, let's say, competitive. And if you do 5 points per action, you end up with 155 points. And we see here it's the end of the game, and I kind of finally managed to win with high-level crates. I got almost all my crates out. Just 1 level 8 I didn't get out. 1 I did get out. So yeah, and I felt like this game, it was smoother. I felt better playing like this than what I did in previous games. So one less develops on the crates, just get 2 level 5 crates out instead of the level 5 and level 6. And you get 1 extra develop that you can spend on coal, for example, and it adds a bit of flexibility and strength, I feel. Um, and I think in this game, I had good cards, played it well, made maybe 1 or 2 small mistakes on the links, got maybe a bit lucky on the BR cards as well, to be honest. And yeah, all of that combined made me win. And that's it for today. This was I Am Spoon. I'm working on some other videos, maybe some high-level pottery games, because I haven't made any video yet where I'm playing high-level pottery, and I wanted to cover that as well. And yeah, leave a like, leave a thumbs up if you liked it, and feel free to subscribe for more content. Ciao, Spoon out.